Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Carly, prenatal postnatal specialist, and today we're going to go through some exercises that are great for pregnancy but extra great for the third trimester for your core, pelvic floor, and mobility. So the first thing is belly breathing or hugging the baby, proper breathing here. So I'm in all fours. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let everything exhale. You'll see my belly drop all the way. As I inhale, I'm going to pull it up as if there's a zipper coming up from my pubic bone to my belly button. Now it's going to be easier to see with my shirt off or up, but as you are zipping up that zipper, it feels like you are hugging the baby with your core. So literally wrapping your arms around your belly, giving it a nice squeeze. Now making sure you're being intentional with this breathing is key as well. So you want to make sure you get that full belly exhale, and full body inhale, as you exhale, that is when you hug that baby and squeeze those abs in together, okay? Now also in the tabletop position, you can do this right out of hugging the baby. Cat cows, including full range of motion, and mini cat cows are really great for your spinal mobility and to ease back pain. Now in the tabletop position, again, I promise we won't be here the whole time. A bird dog is the go-to movement for core stability in your pregnancy. You'll notice right there, you can hug the baby and keep it hugged, keep the core contracted as you reach opposite arm and opposite leg in the opposite directions. Now you might need to pause in between reps just to catch your breath, aka recenter your core stability before you move. But the goal is to reach those hands nice and far and make sure you don't rock side to side, okay? So go ahead and release a little bit of spinal tension if you need, because we're gonna be in tabletop position for just a little longer. Now, I want those knees to stay right below your hips. We're going to externally rotate our feet out and in, really good for the glutes there. As we are externally rotating the feet out, we're actually internally rotating the top of our legs in up towards the pelvis bone, which is really good to prevent low back pain and glute pain and that kind of stuff. Okay, off of the tabletop position, this 90-90 stretch by itself without moving the legs is great for your hips, okay? But to add to it, we're going to lift the heel off the ground and lift the knee. You can do it a few times on each side, and then you will roll, like sit back on your tailbone to get to the other side and repeat over there. Now again, you want to lift the knee and lift the foot, really good for working the outside of the leg, outside of the hips, while your internal hips are being stretched in that figure four position. So opening those hips and strengthening the surrounding areas in the hip region, that's going to be really good to help position you correctly for labor, strengthen, and open things up. So back in the tabletop position we go. Center yourself with that belly breathing if you need. We're going into tap back. So literally the knees stay right below the hips and you are just tapping your foot straight back. What you can't see is how stable I'm keeping myself with the glute of my right leg, the one that's on the ground. You don't want to rock or shift your weight to the side at all as you kick that leg back. This is really good for the glute stability, specifically the outer glute muscles that get a lot of the brunt of the growing belly, basically. So from there, we're going to go up and over. So what it looks like is I'm going side to side. I'm actually kicking my heel straight to the ceiling first, or the sky, and then crossing it over the ankle to the other side. So just a different kind of way to get just tiny different pieces of those glute muscles, which again, get a lot of the brunt of the growing expand of the belly. Still in that tabletop position, I want you to do a scap retraction. So this might look like at first I'm doing a cat cow. I'm not. I'm retracting my scap, so my shoulder blade muscles together, and then I'm retracting them, really good for posture, but you're not using your arms or your elbows there. Release those knees a little bit wider. We're stretching back into a wide-legged child's pose and reaching those hands as far overhead as you can. This is your recovery position in between any of the exercises if you need it, by the way. So now we're going to roll onto our side, rolling safely, and I hope you roll safely anytime you get to your side, including getting into bed and out of bed. We're going into a clamshell. You're going to stack your hips, stack your feet, and stack your knees. Keeping the inner soles of your feet together, you're opening that knee to the ceiling, to the sky, and if you want to level up to make it a little bit harder on the glutes and the outer leg, you can add a mini band right above your knees. Now I recommend going into this exercise before switching sides. So in a supported side plank position, just make sure shoulder is right over top of elbow. You are holding but squeezing the baby, hugging the baby, and focusing on the oblique. Now you can do the other side, roll over, and then you can lay flat on your back for a glute bridge. And yes, it is safe to be on your back in pregnancy if you are comfortable with it, especially for a short duration of time like this, because this is really good for the glutes, really good for the pelvic floor, really good for strengthening everything down there to get ready to be strong for labor, delivery, and most importantly, postpartum, okay? Now here's a repeat of getting up safely off the floor, like I mentioned earlier, making sure we're rolling to the side every time. Now we have just a few more exercises to do to finish off. We're gonna go into a half kneeling position with one leg out to the side. This is called a groin rock back, okay? So with that knee directly under your hip and the foot extended out to the side, you are rocking your tailbone back towards that heel. So we're stretching the inner thighs with that leg out to the side. We're also stretching the entire back as we reach, keeping the palms on the floor and pushing the hips all the way back towards that heel. Now you can do all those exercises 1 time through, 2 times through, multiple times a week is recommended. And please let me know if you have any questions, and congratulations on your pregnancy.